I had a stroke.
Oh.
Okay, and then what I forgot to do was the HOA. You had to pay the HOA. I was like, oh, I'll do it next time. You know how and I kind of forgot about it, and I let it get too far out of hand, and that's when it became too much for me. When you're trying to have almost like two places that you're spending money on. Our little story. I mean, it's downside. I should have done this year because, like I said, we had a lot of people in here. My mom, my dad, my little sister, him, and me. So we had like 5 people here that and all their stuff. And I should have got rid of a lot of stuff, but the rooms were just storage facilities, really, for us.
Now, with the house itself, the way that you were going about living there, you ended up coming to a point where
I was here living. We're married. He has to live with mom and dad because his mom and dad are 90. And then it got to the point where I was like driving further to get to my house to feed my cats and stuff. And then it came to the point where it was just too much. And we were going to take the cats with us, but they died. So unfortunately. We already had it all set up at his house. His mom and dad approved that we could have the cats there. First the little boy died, then the little girl died. And it was like, oh. So there was no reason for me to come out here that much. Unfortunately, the house there's nobody there. It starts depleting, it starts getting worse. And I wasn't able to come over here, except maybe on the weekends. Then my neighbors would be like, you're, it's getting too much, and so I hired somebody to come out here and clean up. He did a really good job, but I didn't do it the backyard because why, And it just came to the point where the house was, and I'm one person. This is for like, what, 4 people? It's a 4-bedroom house. It's for a family person, and it was just too much for me. And the house it just became a storage facility for us. My sister's stuff, my mom and dad's stuff, even after they passed away, it's hard to get rid of stuff. And then, like I said, our stuff in there, and it's just too much. Anything that they wanted to give us, we'd put in there, like the sofas and TVs, and I mean, some of them were really old. You saw that. It was really old stuff, and the house was just too much for one person by themselves. If I'd have had kids and my husband and me were living here, and his parents, that would have been one thing. But unfortunately, it just became overwhelming for one person to be here and then to be also at their house, taking care of that.
And that's
I can't do both. Yeah.
That's what you caught.
And then I made a mistake. I had a stroke.
Oh.
Okay. And then what I forgot to do was the HOA. You had to pay the HOA. I was like, oh, I'll do it next time. And I kind of forgot about it, and I let it get too far out of hand, and that's when it became too much for me. When you're trying to have almost like two places that you're spending money on.